Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is G's Real Raz. I am actually excited today. It's September 15 and it's 3 in the morning. It's 15. So it's payday. Yay! So anyway, I've been discussing a lot of things to you lately and it's about withholding taxes and the computation of the gross income. And we have also discussed on passive incomes, but I think it's time also for you to learn how to fill up a withholding tax return. So, knowing that you have already understand the concept of withholding taxes and the different withholding tax rates for final taxes and the expanded withholding taxes. Okay, so I think it's time for you to learn how to fill up a withholding tax return. So today it will be very exciting because in this video, I will show you how to fill up a withholding tax return using the EBIR forms and of course the EFPS. Okay, so I hope you'd watch uh, the the other videos that I have in my YouTube channel, and I hope to hear comments from you and to, of course, I'm begging you to subscribe and like this channel so you know we helping each other. Okay, so see you in a bit. Okay, so in this video, as I've mentioned earlier, I will teach you how to fill up withholding tax returns, the 1601EQ and 0619E using the EBIR forms and EFPS. So actually, there are two possible ways on how you could file or you fill up your withholding taxes. Okay, so first one is EBIR forms. So in EBIR forms, this is an app, a software, as you can see in your screen. This is downloadable. So this app or software is used usually by small to medium taxpayers or those taxpayers who are not authorized by the BIR to use the EFPS or the electronic filing and payment system. So we normally recommend this EBIR form for bookkeepers or practitioners who are not using whose clients are not registered to EFPS. Okay, or you can use the EFPS itself, the electronic filing and payment system. However, this EFPS is only applicable to those selected taxpayers who are authorized by the BR to use. Okay, so this EFPS is actually applicable to the large taxpayers only. So if you are not, so you should use the EBR forms. Okay, so what you're going to do is first to download this app. Okay, so in the home screen of ebir.com.ph, you download this app. By the way, you can only download this through br.gov.ph. It's free. Okay, so once you downloaded that, so you can see here, I have paused that because I have already installed this EBIR forms. So after you downloaded, you install this and yeah, you can start filing returns. Okay, so after that, so I have here already the EBIR forms. Okay, it's opening. So again, we'll have two we'll have things here. We first we will use the EBIR forms and then next we will use the EFPS. Okay, so as you can see here, this is how EBIR forms look. Okay, it's empty. So what we're going to do here is to fill up. So first the taxpayer identification number. So I really hope you have an actual identification number. So I have 009 and 103. So this I have already filled this up a while ago. So my my company is actually Hiram Distribution Incorporated, and we are under RDO 103. That is, yeah, that is 103. 103. Okay, and then we have retailing business. What's this? And then we have here the registered name. Okay, so it's Hiram Distribution, and then the address, and then the zip code, and then we have telephone number. That's my number actually, and then the email address. So once you fill this up, after you have set up everything, the next step is to choose what return you should file. So here, you click here. So there are many returns here. We have 2550, the VAT, annual income tax return, which later I will also show you how to fill this up. So we need to, in this video, we need to fill up this thing, okay? So there are two items here, the 0619E and 1601EQ. So when do we use 0619E and 1601EQ? So 0619 is applicable for monthly remittance of creditable withholding taxes. So when we say monthly, as you know, in a year we have 4 quarters, and that is for the first to fourth quarter. So anyway, so in the first quarter, for example, we have January, February, and March, and then for the second quarter, we have April, May, and June, and then July, August, and September, and then October, November, and December. So for the first 2 months of the quarter, you will use the 0619E. So if it is the month of January and February, you should use 0619E. While if it's the third month of the quarter, like March or June or September or December, then you should use the 1601 EQ. Okay? So once you have selected, you have chosen what form you're going to use, the next is to identify the deadline. So if you are filing for the month of January, the deadline would be February 10. If you are filing for the month of February, the deadline would be on March 10. It's always the 10th day of after the end of the month if for the sec of the first 2 months of the quarter. However, if it is for the month of March, which is the third month of the first quarter, then the deadline would be on April 25. So always remember, for the first 2 months, January and February, you will use 0619E, and then the deadline is always on the 10th day after the end of the month. And then for the third month of the quarter, you will use 1601EQ, and the deadline is the 25th of the after the end of the month. So, for example, for the second quarter, we have April, May, and June. So for the month of April and May, you will use 0619E, and for the month of June, you will use 1601EQ. For the month of April, the deadline is May 10. For the month of May, the deadline is June 10. And for the month of June, the deadline is July 25. Okay? So what's the difference? 16019E is a monthly basis return, meaning to say the amounts there is good only for 1 month. But when you are using 1601EQ, it is for the entire quarter, meaning you have to add together the taxes withheld from January, February, and March. Okay, so that's what it is. Later, I will show you how to compute or how to fill up the return using EQ, the 1601 EQ and 1601 0619E. So we'll have first the 0619E and then fill up. So we have here the return. Okay. So it's 0619E, monthly remittance form for creditable income taxes withheld, expanded. So the first item that you would see is the month. So it's for the month of August that we're filing. It's September 15. So I'm filing for the month of August. So you just click 8 or August. And then it's for the year 2020. And then the deadline for this, as I have said earlier, should be on the 10th day. So assuming today is the 10th day of September, let's just assume. Okay, so this is not an amended return. So what's an amended return? So for example, if you have already filed your return previously and then later on you realize that you have wrongfully filed my return, or I have miscalculated the tax. So I have to amend your we have to amend your previously filed return. So you should click yes. But in this case, since this is the first time, so I click no. And then are there any taxes withheld? So I'd say yes because we have taxes withheld. So next we have ATC, or the alphanumeric tax code. So it will automatically be filled up here. It's WME 10, and the tax type code we have WE, or withholding tax expanded. And then for the background information, it's already there because remember we have filled up already. So every time you'd fill up this, it will automatically be, system generated or filled up because it's already in the profile. Okay, so after that, we have here item 12. Since Hiram is a private corporation, then I would click private. If you are government, then you should click government. So after we have filled up part 1, the background information, the next is the part 2, the tax remittance. So before we can fill this up, first, make sure that you have already a working paper. So what's a working paper? I'd say this is a just your calculations and how much is your tax due. So I really suggest that before you do this, before you fill up the return, you must have first prepared a working paper. So I have here already the working paper. So we are filing for the month of August, and then these are my taxes. So we have 1% or 2%, that's total of 667,000. And then the rent, which is subject to 5% withholding tax, 3,750 and 1,000, a total of 672,571.42. So again, this is the rate, the 1%. So 1% actually, if I would divide this by 1%, so actually, we have purchased a total of 66,782,142 for the month of August alone. But I'll delete that. Okay, so again, this amount is only 1%. This is the tax that we have withheld and deducted from our payments to our suppliers and then from our lessors. So we will enter this amount to the return. So that's 672571. Okay, so 672,571.43. Am I correct? 0.42. Okay. 0.42. Okay. So there. And then assuming that we have no penalties because we have correctly filed and we are not late in filing, so this will be zeros. And that's it. That's how easy and how you'd file the return. Okay, so I will just leave this section blank because I can actually type and print their names here. Okay, so if the signatory is the president of your corporation or a tax agent, so you'd put here the agent accreditation number, but we have none, so okay, so I will just leave this. And then after that, I click save. Okay, so by the way, this part will be filled up once you submit this and once you pay your taxes through the bank. Okay, so since we're still filing, so I'll just leave it blank and validate. Okay, so after we have validated everything, you can actually edit this if you want to, if you have miscalculated the tax. So you can click edit and again validate. Okay, so after you have saved everything, you have already reviewed everything, then the next step is to print this. Okay, so it says to printed on A4 size paper. So yes, so that's it. Just print this. Okay, and it will printed. So just click print. Okay, so that's it for the monthly remittance tax form. Okay, so now that you have learned already how to file the 0619E, now let's have the look of 1601EQ. So again, on the main screen of your EBIR forms, we'll select this EQ. Okay, and then fill up. Then it would show us the return. Okay, one, two, three, four. It's lag. Five. Okay, so there. So again, it's only one page. And again, before you would prepare this, before you would fill this up, you must have a working paper. Okay, so from our working paper, I have added here for the month of September. These are just, made up amounts because I don't have any figures yet. Okay, so if you can see, this is a 3 month period. We have 598, 67, and then 650. The total is 1,915,000. And also, okay, so we have 33750 and then 1,000 and so on. So what we're going to do here is to click for the year 2020, and then this is for the third quarter for again July, August, and September. And then again, this is not an amended return. Then do we have any taxes withheld? I'd say yes. And just leave that zero. Okay, so again, I'll click private. Private. Oh, it's lag. Wait. So it's actually the same with 0619E, but on the part 2 computation of the tax, it's somehow different. It's a lot, there's a lot of boxes, unlike the other one. So after we have clicked private in item 11, the next step is to select ATC or the alphanumeric tax code. So let's go back to our working paper. Again, we have three taxes here. First, the 1% or 2%, then the 5%, of course the 5%. So have two actually. So let's go back. So again, once you click, where is that? So again, once you click ATC here, it will show you the list of alphanumeric tax code. So we'll choose the rent. First, the rentals. Okay, so the rentals and gross lease, continued possession of personal property, excess of 10,000, and real this. Okay, so I click here. And then, oops, after that, I'd also click the 1% and 2%. There are a lot of items here, but you can see the rates there. So I'm looking for there. So here. So it's 158, WI 158, and WI 100. Okay, so this is the alphanumeric tax code. Again, why should I click this? Because this alphanumeric tax code represents the gross rental, and that is 5%, which actually equates to here. Okay, the two items there, disregard rent and Cebu rent. And also, the other one is the WI 158 is income payment made by top withholding agents to their local resident suppliers. So we're actually a top withholding agent. And that is 1% because we're purchasing goods from them, not services. So after we click the two items, we click OK. So there we have already our alphanumeric tax code. So after that, we will go back to our working paper. And then since I told you these are the taxes, okay, so I'll first show you the tax base for this. So we'll add this together. That is 4750. And then divide this by 0.05 since this 4750 is the, you know, the monthly tax, the 5%. And then again, this should be, or should this should covered for 3 months. So I'll multiply this by 3. Okay, so 3 months. That is 285,000. So I'll put here 285,000. Then it would show 14 to 50. Okay, so if you can say this. So let's go back. So that is actually the same. That's 11 to 50 and then 3,000. That's 14 to 50. Okay, so the next step is to put the tax base here. Again, this is the tax base, not the tax, but the gross amount, the tax base. So let's go back. This 1,915 is actually the sum of these three items we have for the month of July, August, and September. So what we're going to do is to gross this. If this 1.9 million is actually 1%, so we'll gross this up by dividing that amount with 1%. Okay. So we have a total purchases of 191,587,832. So this is the total purchases before we deduct the entire or the 1%. So I'd copy this 191,587,832. 191. What was that again? 587,832. 587,832. There. So it would compute 1915878.32, right? A total of 1,930,128.32. That is item number 19. Okay? So after we have computed, so this is the entire tax for the 3 months for July, August, and September. So as you can see, this is the entire tax, 1,930,128.32. So the next step is to claim tax credits because remember that we have filed already in our first month and second month and we have already paid the taxes. We have already paid the 600 and the 672. So we'll claim this as our tax credit. So 602,806.90. So for the first month of the quarter, we have 602. Oops, sorry. We have 602,806.90. 806.90. And then also for the second month, we have 672,571.42. Okay, 672,571.42. 672,571.42. So there. So it would say that our total taxes due for the 3 months of the third quarter is 1930, but we have paid already 602 and 672. Therefore, we are still liable to pay 654,750, which is actually correct because we are liable for this amount. So it would say after we have um entered the accumulated amount, no, the cumulative amount from July to September, we will see that we are only liable to pay 654 because we have paid already for the 2 months. That's 654 750,000 pesos. So this is our tax liability for the month of September. Okay? So that's it. That is for the quarterly remittance return. So always remember that in the quarterly remittance return, it covers the 3 months, the July, August, and September. It also covers the entire uh, taxes due. Okay, so as you can see here. However, you should deduct your payments on the first month and second month of the quarter. And of course, since we have a due, we cannot select this. I will click save. Then after we saved, we validate. Oops, quarter item 2. Item 2, third quarter. Okay, so it cannot be selected because we are still in September, so it can only be selected once we have finished the month of September. Okay, so since we are still on September, so we cannot click that. So anyway, once we do, we click there, we can validate that and print the same return. Okay, so that's it for 1601EQ using EBIR forms. After you have learned how to use EBIR forms, the next is how to use the EFPS. So again, this EBIR forms is only applicable if you are a small taxpayer or medium taxpayer who is not authorized to use EFPS. So here I will show you how to fill up using the online payment system. So I will just log in. Oops. Mm-hmm. So by the way, it's personal, so don't copy this. And the password. Oops. Again. Okay. And we'll input the manager. Okay, so this is the main screen or the user menu of the FPS. Again, this is an online system. So whatever we'll be doing here will actually notify the BIR. So I should be very careful because this for academic purpose only. So we will choose 0619E again, and I click File Tax Return, and then Online. and I click that is August, since we're filing for the month of August and the year is 2020. Okay, so it's actually the same with the EBIR forms that we have, but it's online. Okay, so you just put here the amount, you just click if any taxes withheld. Okay, so it's actually the same. Okay, so it's actually the same. So I will not put any amount here because we have already learned in the EBIR forms, they're actually the same. Because if I will do, it will notify the BIR, and we are not. I'm not going to pay 600,000 plus for the taxes. I have already filed for the month of August, by the way. Okay, so anyway, this is the form for the EFPS using, I mean, the 0619E using the EFPS. So I'll go back there and then I cancel. And then how about the 1601 EQ? So again, it's actually the same. So we are doing the, let's say, second quarter. I'll just show you the second quarter. So it's still the same with the EBR forms. The format, the look, it's actually the same. In the items there is actually the same. The only difference that this system is online, and if I'm going to put anything here, and if I'd save this, it will be submitted to the BIR. However, in what we have done a while ago is the offline. So even if I commit a mistake, it will not notify the BIR. So it's okay. So again, I will not do anything here because it's online and I'm not going to pay 600,000 plus taxes. Okay, anyway, that's it. Okay, so I hope you have learned a lot from watching this video, and I hope you'd watch the next video on how to fill up with the holding taxes on compensation incomes. Okay, thank you for watching.